What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Fans You podcast. I am so excited this week that I am joined by somebody. I've been watching her content for a while now. I am joined by Haley from Slab Mania. Haley,
What
how are
is
you
going
doing?
on? Good. How are you doing? I can't thank you enough for giving me the opportunity to be on your show.
Oh, of course, of course. I'm a fan of you. I'm more excited than you even could
I
imagine.
appreciate that.
I'm just gonna jump right into it because I know
Yeah.
you've been busy the past couple weeks. You spent a lot. You spent all week at the National. How was that?
Yeah, it was my first national. Not even just that, it was pretty much like my first card show I've ever been to. I've been to like when I was younger, I was at a card show, but it was on accident. It was because my mom took me shopping at the mall and there happened to be sports cards there. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm at a card show. But I went to like a local card shop like a couple weeks right before national, kind of like work my way into going to national. But I mean, nothing could have prepared me for what I
Right.
experienced at national. It was insane. Oh my gosh, I didn't even
I can
know, like,
imagine.
I got a lot of good insight from other people in the hobby about how to go about tackling national or what to expect or the things I'm gonna see, the things, I'll need and stuff like that, but
Right.
even though I had all this incredible advice from people, none of that matched to what walking into that place was like. Everything that all the tips I got just, like, went right out the door. It was just so overwhelming, but in such a good way because it was such a cool experience. It was like there's hundreds of thousands of people coming together because of the love of sports cards and the hobby, and
Right.
it was just amazing. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I was already jealous of you, but you're painting such a picture. I've got to make it out there. I've
Yeah,
never been to I've never been to anything like that.
yeah,
And you said you were getting a lot of tips from like fellow people in the hobby and stuff like
yeah.
that. One big name in the hobby that I know you connected with was Jeff Wilson. You had the opportunity to be on the Sports Card Investor podcast. What was that like? He's such a big name
That
in this hobby.
Yeah, that was amazing. So yeah, I was on his the Jeff Wilson show on his podcast and it was such an incredible experience. I went down there for 4th of July weekend because I did their like Instagram takeover. Um and basically was just like their little like content creator for the 4th of July weekend. And that was just like such a fun experience. And then I had the opportunity to be on Jeff's show and that was something I mean, looking back when I first started Slab Mania in March, if you were to tell me, "Hey, you're gonna be on the Jeff Wilson show in a couple months," like, I would have never believed anybody that told me that. Um, it was just such an incredible experience and gave me so many new perspectives on the hobby and, about, like, content creation and, my journey and stuff like that, and, what I loved about being on his show was that he was kind of basically just talking to me as just like a fellow creator, like talking to me about how my journey started and, just kind of wanted to get a sense of that. And yeah, I just had so much fun being on there and just like that experience of not only being able to meet Jeff, but like learning how, different avenues to take like my content. Like it was just a very eye-opening experience for me and something that I'm just so grateful for.
Yeah, I mean that the knowledge that that man has in one hand is probably more than you or
Correct.
I will have in the next 10
Right.
years.
Yeah, oh my gosh, he's just filled with knowledge, like, such good knowledge that he has.
And I mean, you got to spend what 3 or 4 more hours with him at a Braves game. How was that? Did
Yeah,
you
that
just
was so
keep
much
picking his
fun.
brain?
So, I'm from Cleveland, obviously love the Indians because we're gonna win the World Series this year, obviously. Um,
Ooh, you said Indians. It's the
and then
Guardians.
oh, yeah, sorry, the Guardians are gonna win the World Series this year,
They're the
and
Indians. It's all good here.
and then we all know the Browns are gonna win the Super Bowl this year, but, that's a different story. But,
My boy Deshaun's gonna lead you there. Don't even worry about it.
um, but so I'm not a big baseball person, I'll be honest, not a big baseball person. I like being at the games and watching it. I have so much fun actually being at the games, but, like,
Right.
sitting down in front of the TV, I can't get into watching a full game.
Yeah.
Um, but when I got to go to the game with Jeff and his family, that stadium, like, just that experience made me wanna get into baseball so much more, and it almost made me wanna become a Braves fan a little bit because of how cool that
Oh.
stadium was, but then I, like, remembered where I'm from, and I'm like, "Haley, check yourself."
Yeah,
Like,
I've been there a
no,
couple times.
but
I've been there a couple times to see the Red Sox play. It's
okay, yeah,
intoxicating, but you gotta remember,
yes, like,
they're the
yeah,
enemy.
yes. But no,
Then
that
they
it
s
was such a cool experience that, I was so grateful that he invited me to go to that game with him and being able to just kinda experience Atlanta, like, from a different perspective. It was just a
right.
really fun, opportunity that I was able to have.
That is super, super cool. So you talked a little bit about, you're a football kind of girl. Um,
Yeah.
when you started collecting cards, like if we can go way back, can you like remember one of your first like PC cards? Like what was it that like really got you in here?
So I will say, so when I was younger, I was really into basketball collecting. Like basketball was always my number one sport. But as I got older, football quickly jumped right up probably to like that number one spot. So when I was younger, I was collecting a lot of basketball and I remember like I got a blaster box from like Walmart the one day and it was I think it was like Upper Deck. I'm pretty sure it was Upper Deck. I still have the card somewhere, I know that. But I ended up pulling a dual jersey card of it was Jermaine O'Neal and I think Jamal Tinsley for the Pacers at the time.
Wow.
So I was
Wow.
like so excited that I pulled that I started PCing both of those players just because I pulled their jersey card. I don't know why, like I didn't really know much about them. I just thought it was like the coolest looking card and I was like, I'm going to collect these players and it didn't really last that long the PC, but like
Yeah. I think you
yeah,
might be
like
the only person in the world with a Jermaine O'Neal PC.
yeah,
Good
I was like,
lord.
yeah, I don't know why, but I just thought it was so cool to pull their jersey card and I was like, I'm attached now and I'm going to PC them.
I love that. I can appreciate that because I love a good obscure name. And wow,
Yeah.
Jermaine O'Neal was that did it for me. Wow, that took me back. Um, so what are some of your favorite cards you have in your collection now? I know you're gonna say Nick Chubb. So which Nick Chubb is it?
So, I just got a card that I've been looking for a couple years. I just got it in the mail the other day, and thanks of, people on Instagram, I posted on my story, like, after National, I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to complete the Nick Chubb 2018 Rookie Prism Rainbow, and I've been looking for this card forever. Does anybody have any, like, knowledge about if anybody has this? Have you seen this in circulation or whatever?" And within probably 10 minutes, I got a response from somebody saying, "I just saw that card at National. Let me link you to the guy who has it." And I could not believe it, like, the power of Instagram, like, and
That
within
is
10
so
minutes, I
cool.
found this card I've been looking for years, and it was the Nick Chubb rookie blue shimmer auto, and it happened to be a PSA 10. The auto was a
Wow.
9, which I didn't care about. I just cared about having the card. I
Right.
didn't even care if the card was graded a 1. I just wanted the card so
Just
bad,
had to
and
have it in the
yes,
collection.
just
I
had to have it. Like, my Nick Chubb cards, I don't care what grades they get because I will always keep them. They'll always be my PC. I'll never sell them, so yeah, like I said, if that card was damaged, if that card was ripped in half, I would still want it
a
because
little
I
scotch
just need
tape, fix it right
yeah,
up.
nothing a little duct tape can't fix.
Oh man, I'm so jealous because I'm a little broke boy. I can't afford my PC's autographs right now. I kind of need them to suck it up for
Who's
a
your
couple of
PC?
years. Mr. Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, okay. Okay, you know
Mr.
what?
Trevor Lawrence.
I
He's
think he's
so
gonna be
expensive. I
oh, I
know he's
his market is very high. Yes,
yeah, and I believe he's only gonna go up and up, which
I think
spells
so too.
disaster for me.
Yes,
I mean, selfishly, I want him to have a bad year so his prices will fall. I can get in at the
and then when
ground
he gets
floor.
them all, have a good year. Yeah, no, I get it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah. So I've basically, like I said, I've reserved myself to being a little broke boy. So I'm
yeah.
just gonna collect every rookie non-auto card.
Right, yeah, there you go, yeah,
So that's my thing. I'm like pulling all of his inserts, but my
yeah.
God, you don't realize. Like I'm sure you've noticed it with Nick Chubb. Like my God, the amount of
Oh,
cards that they
yeah,
produce for these
yes.
players, like, oh,
So many. Oh my gosh. There's, like, new
I,
ones every day that people are sending me pictures of, and I'm like, "I have never seen that before." Yeah,
yeah.
And I thought with like Nick
Yeah.
Chubb basically almost, when his leg pretty much got torn off, I thought his market was gonna drop, and I was like, I feel so bad saying this, but I'm like, yes, like I could get his cards,
Yeah.
but for some reason his market
Okay, so me and you are
skyrocketed.
on the same page. Thank God I'm not the only
Nice.
terrible person.
No, yeah, I thought like I'm so happy his leg is okay, but like, dang.
So what are you, I mean, we'll go, I'll ask you now. I was going to ask you later, but what are you expecting out of your Browns this year? I mean, is it Super Bowl or
So
bust for you?
I will say that I think it's going to be a very, very interesting season with all the trades and moves that happened in the offseason with the entire NFL. So with like the Browns division, all the other three
Ooh,
teams in that division stacked weapons.
yeah.
So I think people saying that the Browns are sitting last in our division right now, I do agree with that because I think like I don't know. I think the Ravens are definitely obviously the Ravens every year are just so consistent and pretty much just blowing everybody out
Yeah.
of the division. The Steelers I'm not really worried about. Like,
No, yeah.
yeah.
They'll
So
Steelers
actually
it up.
yeah, exactly. Like they'll do good. They'll do good enough to make it almost into the playoffs or make it into the playoffs and then but I could say the same thing about the Browns. Like we're a
Yeah.
very stagnant playoff team. We can make it to the playoffs, but we can never make it far enough to have a real chance at the Super Bowl. But I don't know. I get my hopes up every year and then it's a constant cycle of being a Cleveland fan for 29 years and I'm just used to not going to
well,
the Super Bowl.
well, you have a healthy Deshaun to look forward to
That
this
is
year. So
very true. Very true. Nick has
I'm
his
telling you.
leg back, so,
Yeah.
we'll see if he plays.
Is he
Yeah.
going to be starting off the year? I'm
I
not, I haven't
I
been
don't think
paying
so.
attention.
I don't
Yes.
think he's gonna so he was full on sprinting and, like, benching, like, 500 pounds, like, a couple weeks ago, but I
Right.
don't think they're gonna clear him to start. I doubt it. I think they're gonna maybe ease him into it, but, like,
Yeah.
Jerome Forden, like, kind of our actually, I wouldn't even consider him a backup because we utilized him so much, but, our other
Yeah.
running backs, we got weapons too. So,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if
You're
we
just in a
had to go
bad
a season
spot.
without Nick Chubb, I think we would be okay, but I would love to have Nick
Yeah.
Chubb this season, but we'll see.
Yeah. It really doesn't help that you're in a murderer's row of a division. But I'm a
Oh
Jags
my
fan, so
gosh,
we
yes.
we have to deal with CJ
Okay.
Stroud now and everything else.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
talk about pain. I'm a Jags fan who used to be a Jets fan.
Oh, no.
I don't
Well,
like winning.
well, Aaron Rodgers, he'll be back, right? Because he's cleared to come
Mm,
back, right?
yeah,
I
maybe
think?
we'll get
Yeah.
5 snaps this year.
Oh
Who knows? Maybe
my
we'll get 6. Oh God, now I'm
it
sad.
yeah, those
So speak.
injuries were crazy.
I'm telling you, last year seemed like it was even worse than
Yeah,
usual. So kind of going back to the card collecting side of things. Card grading right now is like a big topic because obviously, you're probably too young to remember, and really I'm too young to remember the junk wax era. You know, now people are kind of talking about maybe we're entering into like a junk slab era, with the availability of grading companies,
right.
the price of it's come down. Where do you stand on that? Do you think we're getting dangerously close to kind of devaluing these things? Being slabs, that is?
Yeah, that's a see, I don't know though, because I feel like PSA, for example, or even like Beckett, probably PSA more, I feel like is always gonna hold probably the highest value in the hobby because of how established they are and how many people use them. Like every
Right.
anytime like if you had 20 slabs lined up, if one of those was PSA, probably 9 times out of 10, everybody's going to go for that PSA one.
Yep.
Um but like you said with like all these other companies coming out with grading services trying to compete with it, like I don't know, like, it could definitely lead to an oversaturation, and then possibly, if you have a graded card, maybe, a couple years down the road, it won't be as valuable as it used to be because, the demand is there, but there's also so many different ways to get a card graded, like, so many different companies, so it's not a
Right.
shortage of companies or not a shortage of being able to get a card slabbed, but it's just, like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know, like, a good answer for that. Like, definitely a lot of companies starting to come in to compete, but I feel like PSA, is always gonna be established and people are gonna always wanna use them, and I feel like because they are so established, the value will hold for them, but, if you try to compete and go to, like, one of these other, I don't know what you wanna call it, like, maybe name brand, grading services, I
Right.
don't think your value is gonna hold there, and kinda like you said, like, could it be like a slab junk error almost, you know?
Right. Yeah, I ask because actually today I got burned because again, broke boy right here. I really don't have the time, the energy, or the money to invest in sending off
Yeah,
to PSA, waiting for 2 months to get my cards back.
right.
So I ripped a bunch of 2024 tops when it first came out because SGC, was running the $9 special, blah 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 blah. Long story short, I brought like 8 10s, couple 9.5s up to a card shop today. I think I made $100. Anyway, long story short, I brought a handful of 10s, a couple 9.5s, and a 9 maybe. I think I brought like 12 slabs up there, and he gave me
Yeah,
$100. So
yeah,
I got burnt today. That's what
yeah,
had it fresh on my mind.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, it probably yeah, I feel like it's a hard question to try to answer because, I mean, grading is just so popular and it's like everybody wants to go get their cards graded to, obviously bring value to their cards and get the highest grade possible. And, if you get like a graded 8, obviously it's not going to hold value
right.
much. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like that's a tough question.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
seems like the way the market is right now, it almost feels like if you do anything less than a 10, I mean,
correct.
you'll be lucky to break even. At 8, you're
Right.
losing money. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And especially if
But
you go with like an off brand company.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
like if I would have pulled an 8 SGC, I could just give that to my 2-year-old daughter to play with because that's
Yeah.
it's worthless. It would have been better off just trying to sell it raw.
Exactly.
Um, so let's talk happier. Let's talk Slab Mania. I know you're on a much bigger platform with Jeff, and you kind of talked about how it started, but could you tell my crowd, how you got going with Slab Mania?
Yeah, so I guess I'll take it all the way back. Um, Back in 2020 during COVID, at the time I was working at my retail job and all of Ohio shut down, so my job shut down and we were out of work for a while until we were allowed to go back. And I got so bored. Like the first couple days I was like this is great. I don't got to go to work. Like oh my gosh, like I can do whatever I want and then like 2 days went by and I was like, I am so bored. Like, I can't leave my house. I can't go do anything. And so TikTok was like really popular at the time. I mean, it's very popular still to this day, but kind of is when I jumped on the app and kind of started discovering what it was at the time. And I thought it was so stupid. I was like, all I kept seeing on my feed were people dancing. And, it was kind of coming out of a better place because I'm like, people are dancing, probably making millions off of this, and here I am sitting at home getting laid off my retail job, waiting to go back because of COVID. So, I was, like, getting bitter watching all these people, but, in a non, like, negative way. I was just, like, jealous of them. And so I just, like, was basically just learning what TikTok was, and then, I would get a bunch of random videos coming on my feed and or my For You page, and it was at the time, it was really a lot of those organizing videos where people were like cleaning out their refrigerator and doing like ASMR and stuff like that. Like, I don't know why that showed up on my feed and it just kept showing up and up. And I was like, okay, so clearly, if it's showing up on my feed, these are probably very trending videos. And this is what TikTok is pushing out, I guess. So at the time in 2020, I kind of like self-taught myself graphic design a little bit and
Wow.
was just kind of playing around with like Photoshop and Adobe and everything. And my cousin actually gave me the idea. He was like, "Hey, like, what if you started a TikTok channel and just like show some of your like graphic designs that you make, or just like make a video of you drawing or something?" And I was like, Okay, that could be kind of cool." And I was like, I got time. Like, I'm laid off my job, so why not? Like, not doing anything else. So I posted a couple videos. I would basically just record myself, doing anything like little like graphic design or whatever.
Right.
And I posted a couple videos, posted my first video, got like 20 views, and I thought, all right, I'm done. Like it tanked, so like I'm not going anywhere. And off of that one video, I was like, that's it. I tried and that's it. So then I was like, "All right, Haley, stop being dramatic. Like, you're not gonna get 10 million followers off of you sitting there with like a pen." Like, so then I just kind of like thought to myself, I was like, why don't you just be consistent and just post for 1 week and see what happens? See if you could grow a little following. So I did that. And, I started noticing after each video, I would gain a couple more followers. I'd get a couple more likes on my videos. And, got to a point where got like 20 followers. And I was like, okay, okay. Like consistency it's showing. It's like, the proof is there. And then, I started posting every day for 2 weeks straight, and then 3 weeks, and then a couple months straight. And I was just growing, like the following was growing. The consistency was working. Like I had more people engaging because I was posting every day. And TikTok was recognizing my account as, hey, here's somebody that's active every single day on our app. So why don't we push their videos out a little bit more?
Right.
Um, and so about like I want to say maybe a month or two in, it was just like it really wasn't going anywhere. And I thought, like, what are people doing on this app that are getting millions of views? Like, what are people posting? And everything on my feed was still those organizing videos and everything like that. So the one day I just decided, I was like, I'm going to do a duet video of one of these viral videos of people cleaning out their fridge to see what happens. And I posted one video that was a duet video, literally me just sitting in my closet, like critiquing this person cleaning out their fridge. And to this day, that video has like 23 million views. So
Wow.
that video is what took channel. Yeah, and I almost didn't believe it. Like, I thought I was, like, being punked. I was like, "There is no freaking way that me literally just sitting in my closet in front of my window, duetting this video just, like, blew up like that." So that video took off my channel, and then, like, I realized, like, I should ride this wave and switch and stop doing little graphic design videos that weren't getting any attention, and now post every single day duet videos. So that's what I did. I rode the wave every single day, 4 times a day. I was posting just duet videos to like ASMR videos, organizing videos, anything that was basically on my For You page that was trending. And it just took my channel off. Like I somehow magically got into the algorithm and it just blew my channel up. And, so to this day, that channel, I don't post on there anymore, but that channel has like 1.1 million followers, I think it is last time I checked. But none of those videos I was posting about like had no passion behind it. It was just me literally sitting in my closet, like just doing a reaction to somebody else's video. Like there's no thought behind it. I would just pop my headphones in really quick, film for 20 seconds, upload it, and boom, that was it.
Living the
So
life.
yeah, I was like, it was I just couldn't believe it, like, that people literally liked it enough to watch me just critique somebody's video. And, like, then, I started, like, learning about content creation and learning about how to grab the audience's attention, learning different tricks about social media. And, basically, I just studied my own analytics and just learned. And so, when I got to about, like, maybe, like, 200,000 followers, I tried doing videos that I was passionate about. Like I tried like vlogging on there, doing like little mini vlogs. I tried doing like challenge videos, and they just weren't hitting. Like I was losing followers because TikTok, I kind of I kind of screwed myself in a way with that channel because I got stuck in this niche of being like known for doing duets. So
Right.
anything I would do outside of a duet video, TikTok would not push it out. I would like lose followers, they would like shadow ban me. And
Right.
yeah, like the algorithm would just quickly drop me. So, I just kind of kept at it because I was like, I don't want to give up. Like I grew all these followers already. Like I really want to keep growing. And I tried, like, I kind of stuck it out for, like from 2020 to basically 2024's for 4 years I was posting on that channel and grew to over 1,000,000 followers. But it got to a
Wow.
point where I just had to be like, this channel's stagnant. I've tried multiple times to switch, different, I guess, like, categories of, like, what my content is.
Right.
And it just got to a point where I had to say, like, you really can't do much more with it. Like, it's stagnant. You're stuck in this niche and, you'll never get out of it. And I just kinda had to lay that channel to rest. I didn't delete it because I still, like, little four-year-old Haley is, like, so excited we got over 1,000,000 followers, so it's like, I'll keep it for little Haley, but, um so, when I kinda, like, laid that channel to rest, I thought to myself, I was like, you love content creation, all you wanted to do since you were little was to be a content creator, or to be a YouTuber. And I thought, like, what is it that you can make content about that you are actually passionate about, that you could see yourself waking up every single day doing? And sports just kept coming every single time I asked myself that question, it was always sports. Like, no matter what job I have in the future, as long as it has something to do with sports or content creation, I will be so happy. It's a dream job to be able to do that. And, I've loved sports cards since I was 8 years old. So I was like, what if I take content creation and mix it with sports and sports cards and just create a whole new social media for it? And that's what I did. And I took everything I learned from TikTok from the past 4 years of, studying the analytics, how to grab audience's attention, different content creation ways that I learned. And I put it all into Slab Mania. I started Slab Mania back in March. And since March to July now, it's just kind of taken off, and I'm kinda, like, mind blown about it that it's only been a couple months, and, it's just, like, mind blowing that people enjoy my content enough to watch it, to, like, help me grow my channel in a sense. It's crazy.
Well, it's quality content. I mean, you definitely are humble and you're underselling yourself. Like it's fantastic content. I know I
I
love
appreciate that.
watching it.
Though. I
Obviously, I mean,
appreciate
I
that.
love it so much that I had to reach out to you to talk to you today.
That means the
Um,
world to me. Thank you.
because it's so inspiring, especially me. I'm very small, obviously, but it's so inspiring to see somebody just, you had that dream. And like I said, I heard you on the Jeff Wilson show, and that's what really I think that's what introduced me to Slab Mania, you
Okay.
know, and it's just hearing your story, it's just inspiring. Aside from being a content creator, like it's just, you know, you got a dream, chase it. Don't
Yeah,
put the work in. And it's
right.
proof that you are living proof that if you put the work in, you put the time in, good things happen. Maybe not
Yeah,
overnight, but
right.
good
No,
things happen.
absolutely, and
And,
it's like oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, like, I like, one of my biggest things when I start Slapmania, like, I just wanna leave a trail of inspiration for people, like, it is 100% possible to be a content creator, to be a YouTuber, to do sports cards, like, make a living off of that, and, like, back when I was little, if I told somebody I wanna be, a YouTuber, I'd probably get laughed at because it wasn't a thing back then like it is now, and,
Right.
like, I didn't have any famous relatives, I was like, I had no, like, handouts, nothing. I was a nobody, like, nobody knew who I was, like, even though I had that TikTok channel, in those 4 years that I had that channel compared to the couple months that I did Slabmania, I had so much more opportunity open up to me with Slabmania than I ever did on
Right.
TikTok. So it's like I wasn't known, like, I didn't come from a famous family or anything. I literally was just an average girl working a retail job with a dream, and I decided one day that my dream is more important than giving time to a company that, you know, is just a retail job, so it's like, why can't I go all in on myself if I'm going all in on this retail job? So,
Right.
I promise, like, anybody listening, it is 100% possible. I did it. I'm continuing to do it, and I just refuse to fail. It's like an all or nothing. So, it is absolutely possible. If you have a dream of any of this, you can absolutely do it.
I love that so much, and I just love your story so much. Like it speaks to me at a personal level, and I just know that it speaks to the people that are watching this and that watch your channel, in general. It's just
Yeah,
I can't say enough good things. I
I
don't want to
appreciate
toot your horn too hard, but I could sit here and gush over you for another hour.
that means
Um,
the world to me. Thank you.
what are some of the struggles though that you face, as a content creator, both, the major things and maybe things that people wouldn't even think of, you know? What kind of
Yeah, I
struggles are you facing?
I would say so this kinda might be a different one, but I would say probably, like, as a content creator, I think the number one struggle would be kind of being your own, like, worst enemy in a sense. Like, there'll be times where I post a video, but then I get, like I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, this video performed so poorly, like, why aren't people watching it? Like, why aren't I growing?" And then you have to, like, bring yourself back and realize, like, you are not entitled to any followers. You are not entitled to anybody watching your videos. Like, you can't control who watches your videos and who doesn't. You're not entitled to anything. So, you have to, like, I guess in a sense, remember, like, you're getting worked up for nothing. Like, there's no rule book that says, "Oh, Slamania, should have 24 million followers, and if they don't, then, something's wrong." Like, no. Like, you can't get inside your own head. You can't get worked up about if a video doesn't perform well or if, you're not growing as fast as you want to. So it's a constant battle with getting over, I guess, that mindset, if you will, of, just kind of like you said earlier, like, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to be very comfortable with knowing it's going to be a long journey, a long process.
Right.
But also with that being said, all it takes is one video to take a channel off, like, you never know, like, if there were times, like, back on TikTok where I debated posting a video, but I just posted it for the heck of it, and probably 8 times out of 10, the videos that I thought would flop ended up being some of my most viral videos. So, that's why, like, if you're ever debating posting a video, just post it because you never ever know what will happen. All it takes is one video. But I would say, like, the biggest challenge for me is getting inside my own head about, growing and getting followers. But then, at the end of the day, I could care less about how many followers I have because my main mission with Slab Mania is to just inspire people to chase their dreams. That's all I want people to get out of my content. Um, so, just kind of that hurdle of just kind of remembering that and bring myself back down, or some of the other struggles, I would say, I don't even want to say that being a woman in the hobby is a struggle because I haven't faced any struggles because of that. I know that there have been some other female creators that, um, I heard they had, a couple like struggles, but you know, I don't think, I think people will follow your account and engage with your account because of you, like who you are as a person. And if you're just authentic and if you're making good content. So I was nervous, I guess, in the beginning to post about like sports cars because it's a very male dominant hobby. But,
Right.
I was afraid to like put myself out there being a female in the hobby, but quickly realized how incredible of a community this is. And I mean, besides like a couple comments that people I don't even know, I have
Assholes are
never
everywhere.
exactly, like, no matter what you make content about, no matter who you like, there's always
Yeah.
gonna be those people.
Right.
But I've honestly received nothing but incredible, warm, welcoming, like, interactions from everybody in the hobby. Um, so, like, I almost like, I don't wanna sound, like, greedy by saying, like, I really haven't had any struggles, but, I mean, I would say, like, my biggest struggle is probably just myself, just my own, like, mindset sometimes, but,
Right.
in terms of content creation, I don't even view like I kind of view my content as a learning process. So I just learn through all my content. Like, yeah, it's a struggle trying to figure out like what can I post that people are going to actually enjoy to watch, but it's also experiment. Like if you think people are going to enjoy this video, put it out there, and if it doesn't perform well,
Right.
try something different, Like you'll
Yeah.
find what clicks and what doesn't, but yeah, I guess like I don't know if, like, I'm just so new, like, since I only started at March that maybe I just haven't had time to have, like, a real big obstacle yet. Because
Yeah.
this I've only been doing this for a couple months, but, I'm sure those will come. I'm sure
Yeah.
I mean, it's granted, there's always gonna be no matter what you do in life, you're always gonna have obstacles no matter what.
Right. Exactly. And it's almost like you seem to have that temperament when you started talking about it. I mean, we were just talking about football. It's almost like you got to have that quarterback mentality. If a video pops and
Yep,
you get crazy views, cool, next play. If a
correct.
video takes a dump on you, cool, next play. Because you're
Yep,
a full-time content creator now. Like, this is your job.
correct.
Regardless, like, you got to keep that's your job.
Right.
So
No,
yeah, I mean,
absolutely, yeah,
I think that's definitely you've definitely got the right mindset. obviously, and I'm not giving you any tips, but you definitely seem to have the right mindsets. Just
Yeah,
next play, next play.
yeah, exactly.
That's
That's, like, the perfect way to describe it like you did, yeah.
so. And I meant to ask you earlier about this. Like you say, in my opinion, like your videos are very like there's some fun, like just fun videos. You have a lot of educational videos where you like try to teach somebody something about the hobby. Do you think that ever gets expanded to where maybe Slab Mania becomes a breaker or something like that? Or is that really not your deal?
So, I did have a lot of people ask me, like, I guess in a sense, like, what is my end goal with Slab Mania? And the
Right.
honest answer is I don't know. I really don't know. Like, all I know is I love content creation. I love sports cards. I love sports. So as long as I'm able to do something that has that combined in it, I'll be so happy. Like, I really don't know what, like, the honest answer is I don't know. I don't know what my end goal for Slab Mania is. All I know is I just want to be able to do this as like full-time job, like for the rest of my life. Like I would love to just wake up, grab my camera, boom, that's my job.
I love that. And I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. So we're gonna start to bring this thing home, but I'm gonna put you on the spot because, like I said,
Uh-oh.
I know
Okay.
you're a sports fan.
I'm
You're
ready.
gonna tell me this is gonna be a hard one now.
Okay.
I want your Mount Rushmore
Oh.
of Ohio
Oh.
team athletes. It can be any sport, football, basketball. I don't know if you're a hockey
Oh,
girl,
this is gonna be
baseball,
hard.
just Ohio, not necessarily Ohio athletes, but just ones that play for Ohio teams. And you can't include LeBron because he did play for Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Definitely, I mean, go-to is LeBron. Like, he won us a
Obviously.
championship. He won us a championship. I'll always love him for that.
Are we a
Nick
LeBron hater? I do have to ask you that. Are you a LeBron
No,
hater?
I love LeBron. He won Cleveland a championship. I love him. I
Okay.
was
All right. So
I was pissed when he left for Miami and I hated him, but then when he came back, I loved him. He won us a championship and then he left and I was like, "All right, you could go do your thing. You already got us a
he did
ring."
his job before he
Yeah,
left, at
you
least
did what
this time,
you
right?
said you were gonna do. Like, okay.
All right. So we
So
got LeBron.
yeah, LeBron. Nick Chubb. I will always love Nick Chubb. He will always be a Cleveland hero for us. But then, like, I'm thinking, like, I want to say Grady Sizemore when he played for the Indians.
I love that
Loved Grady
answer.
Sizemore.
I love
Um,
a good obscure name.
trying
I
to think.
love
Okay.
that so much.
Probably Joe Thomas for sure. Joe Thomas from the Browns.
Okay.
How many heads are
It would
on Mount
it
Rushmore? I'm trying to think how many.
it's four.
4. Okay. I was like,
But
wait,
you
I
can
was about
have
to
it
how many
but you can
heads are
have an honorable mention if you have an honorable mention.
okay, so LeBron, Nick Chubb, Grady Sizemore, Joe Thomas.
That is so Ohio of you too to have an
I know.
offensive tackle in there. I love
I
that.
mean, I think my honorable mention would have to be Jim Brown or like Kenny Lofton from the Indians.
Okay.
I
No
don't
love
know,
for
like
Manny Ramirez, huh?
I mean, oh,
To
but
be
there's
fair,
also Jose.
Manny's a Red Sox.
Yeah,
Manny's
there's
always going
also
to be a Red
Jose
Sox.
Ramirez right now, though. He's gonna
Yes,
win us
yeah.
the World Series. No, I'm gonna stick with LeBron, Nick Chubb, Grady Sizemore, and Joe Thomas. I'm gonna stick with
Oh,
that.
this is gonna be beautiful. This is gonna be my viral clip right here of just people arguing in the comments. I love it. So my last question for you, I ask everybody, and I know you're gonna give me a good answer because you've already kind of addressed it, but obviously everyone's gonna have a different a viewpoint. But what does success mean to you?
I think so. I look at success in a terms of like a happiness scale, if that makes sense. I don't view success as money, as, materialistic things. For like, I want to say that I'm successful, but what I want that to mean to myself is that I'm happy. Like, I'm happy at what I'm doing in life. I'm happy with where I'm at in life. I'm happy with myself. And I think, like, for me, that is the greatest success is at the end of the day, I could be laying in my bed and I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm happy. Like, I love my job, I love the life I've built for myself and, um, I just, like I'm very fortunate for the way I was raised because I was raised to never, get caught up in the materialistic aspect. Like, I've always been taught, like, money does not buy you happiness, and then I think,
Right.
like, I mean, I'd probably be happy sitting in a Lamborghini, but, like, at
Oh
the end of the
yeah.
day, like, who wouldn't be? But, I've just been taught, that you can't base your success or your happiness off of money. Like, money comes and goes, but your happiness is what is gonna be with you forever. So, I definitely wanna keep success as, I guess, if it makes sense, as being like a scale of happiness is what I wanna view it as.
No, that's such a good. I knew you were gonna have a good answer. I just had to tee that one up for you. So like I said, we're wrapping this thing up, but it is the Fans View podcast. So when you're not creating content and you're not salivating over Nick Chubb,
Yeah.
what are some things that you're a fan of? Obviously Browns football.
Yeah.
But what are some things like you're a fan of?
Like outside of sports or like outside
Yeah,
of the house?
just
Yeah.
outside of your
So
hobby, just
yeah.
because your hobbies
So
work at this point. So
right, exactly, yeah. So I that's actually a really good question. So
too busy
I
to know, huh?
was like, what do I do?" I love The Office. I probably watch The Office 24/7 when I have time. Are you an Office hater or lover?
oh no, I love The
Okay.
Office.
Okay, I thought I was about to click off.
My
I
2-year-old literally will ask me and my wife to watch Michael Scott. Not The Office. She
that
calls it Michael Scott.
I love that.
It's oh
I
god.
absolutely love The Office. So if I'm
We
not
are
creating
kindred
content,
spirits.
yes. Oh my gosh, like, I think we just became best friends at this point. But yeah, like, pretty much if I'm not creating content or, like, doing anything, in the sports card world, you could probably catch me either watching The Office or just, like, hanging out with my friends, but it's pretty much just watching The Office.
Okay, so all right, I said it was the last question, but I lied because now you brought up The Office. This is gonna be another 45
Let's
minutes.
do it, let's do it.
Who is the worst character in The Office, and why is it D'Angelo Vickers?
Ooh, okay. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. So I love Will Ferrell, like, I love Step Brothers, I love his movies.
Yes,
I
agreed.
did not like him in The Office. I could not get
Terrible,
into it. And, like,
terrible.
I don't know if it was him I didn't like in The Office or if it was his character I didn't like. Like, I thought his
Right.
character was, like, funny the way they kinda did some things, but I don't know, I just could not get into him being in The Office.
All
I
right, so I'm really gonna throw one at you though. You can get rid of one, okay? These are hated characters I'm throwing at you now. You can
Creed
either
better
get
not
rid.
be in there.
Oh God, no! I love Creed.
I
Who
love
doesn't
Creed,
like
he's so
Creed?
underrated. He's so
Later,
under
skater. Come on.
There
Who
are
doesn't
so many
love Creed?
haters. I love him.
Oh, those are uncultured people because you
Yes,
have to. He
preach.
has that weird sense of humor that you
Yes,
just have to.
I love him.
Yeah, no, I love Creed so much. Um, and I'm gonna ask you your favorite character, but you can
Okay,
get rid of one. You can either get rid of D'Angelo Vickers and that
okay.
terrible portion of the story, or and I don't even remember his character's name right this second off the top of my head, and I'm embarrassed, but Idris Elba. Which one
Oh,
was worse?
what was his name?
I know he worked for a steel
Oh,
company, and I couldn't.
Charles Minor.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh,
it.
you know what? Ooh,
That run of episodes makes my skin crawl every time I get to that point because I just rewatch it on a loop.
oh my gosh, I don't know. Okay, it's just, like, they're just so 2 completely different, like, there's not
Yeah.
even a way to compare them. I don't honestly, I think I'm still gonna say D'Angelo.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I guess to an extent, too, Idris Elba, Charles Minor was brought in to hate. I don't know that
yeah,
D'Angelo Vickers was really, supposed
right,
to be as hated as
yeah.
he was.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Okay. So we've talked negative. Well, who's your favorite Office character?
Um, I mean, my go-to is always to say Michael because he's just so funny, but I
Yeah.
gotta say probably Creed. He is just so underrated as such a funny character, and, like, his little one-liners and, like, the most random parts. I love it. Like, he is so funny.
Do you have a
Yeah.
favorite episode?
Um, pro Probably Dinner Party, even though he's not in it,
Oh,
Creed's
that's a
not
good
in it,
one.
but I'd say Dinner Party. Dinner Party is just so funny.
You couldn't go wrong. You couldn't say a wrong answer. I'm
Correct,
more of
yeah.
a stress relief guy.
Oh my
I
god.
love.
I think they need to be playing those videos for actual, like, CPR training, just
Oh
like
my
that
god.
scene from, like, The Office.
You would never believe it, but I work at a water company where we do
Okay.
safety meetings like every couple weeks. Well, it was my turn to do safety, and I played that video. No, excuse me, it wasn't that video. I played the video. I did fire safety, so the one
Oh,
where Dwight smokes the cigarette and throws it in the trash can, and
he's like, "Stay
Angela's
away."
throwing her cats up into the ceiling, and oh,
Oscar's
my
falling through the ceiling.
yeah, my coworkers did not appreciate it the way you do.
Oh my
The way
god.
So that's a close second, but stress relief is definitely
I
my favorite.
I love absolutely love that you did that. That
Oh
is so
god.
funny. Who's your
I'm
favorite
glad
character?
I'm glad oh it's got to be Dwight. It has to be
Okay.
Dwight.
I respect that. Dwight, he's so freaking funny.
It's close though because it's Dwight and it's Kevin right there. Cuz I
Okay,
mean,
that's fair.
just
Yeah.
some of the stuff that comes out of Kevin's mouth on that show is just it's so is there an I don't think there's another show that's as quotable as The Office.
No,
Like it's just
like I think the best line I ever heard Kevin say was during the PDA episode when they were in the break room and they were talking about like Michael and Holly and Kevin's like, "Can I finish?
can
Can
I
I finish?"
finish?
I was gonna say. So funny.
I love his delivery too, in such a
He's
matter of fact way. Can I
oh my
finish? I was gonna say it makes me horny. God, like it's such a bother. God, my God. Now I'm absolutely logging off after this, and my wife is gonna have to
oh,
sit through 2 hours of The
you know, I'm
Office.
doing the same thing.
That oh man, I
Oh
literally
my
I could sit
god.
here and talk about The Office for hours.
Oh,
That and
same, same.
I mean the best cold open has to be Dwight speeding when Michael cooks his foot and Dwight goes speeding out.
And he
I'm
gets
gonna die. I'm gonna die laughing. I'm gonna die laughing just talking about it because he gets
oh,
out of the car all woozy and then projectile
just
vomits all over his back windshield.
and he's
Oh
sitting on his
my
computer
god.
typing Dwight, Dwight, Dwight for the file. That is
Yeah.
so
Oh
funny.
my gosh. I don't even remember what episode it is. I just remember that cold open.
Yeah, I think
That oh
well, isn't wait, do you mean like from the isn't that from the injury, that episode when he
I
has, like,
think
the
I
bubble wrap
think it
on his
is.
foot?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it is the entry.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember really anything else from that episode but the cold open.
So funny. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh. So now that we have lamented The Office, again, I could go another 45 minutes, but
Right?
where can people get your content? Where can people find Slab Mania? Where are you most active? Like where can
Yeah,
people reach out to you?
I definitely I have, Slapmania on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, but I am most active every day on Instagram. I need to get better at doing TikTok, but, slab_mania on Instagram is where you can find me every day.
All right. Well, with that, I want to say a genuine thank you so much, Haley, for coming on. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you taking the time. It's pretty late and you were a champ, so and we've had to deal with some internet issues on top of that. But I have had a blast. This is probably the most fun interview I've done yet.
I gotta say the same, like, I cannot thank you enough for giving me this opportunity and just for being probably, like, one of the most down to earth, awesome people I had the honor of meeting. Like, you made this interview so much fun, it wasn't even an interview for me. I
I
loved it.
try. I try. Hopefully we'll do a part 2. I mean,
Oh, absolutely, I
let's
would love to. Yeah,
we'll bring you back. Yeah,
yeah, I would
absolutely.
absolutely love to.
But for right now, folks, do me a favor. She's great people. She's an Office fan. Go check her out. Slabmania. Go like it, subscribe, repost. Just give her all the love. She deserves it. She's a hardworking lady. And we'll catch you guys next time.